Hi, everybody. Well, we are live. We made it through new leadership coming in safe and sound, honeys. We made it. Thank you so much for joining us on Essential Pedagogy. I'm Steph, the educator, and I am here to talk about it. I want to talk about education. We have so many things going on. It is February, National Black History Month, no matter what anybody else says, okay? Because it will always be National Black History Month in the United States. I know it makes people mad, but it is what it is, and it will always be. um, yeah. So I kicked off Black History Month last week on January 31st, educating our students on the first Black person to integrate a white school in Louisiana. Her name is Ruby Bridges. She is only 70 years old. I repeat, she's only 70 years old. The first Black person to go to a white elementary. Okay, she is still alive, still part of Black history, creating Black history, making it known because it is not taught in school. I want to introduce you by saying I started this podcast because I felt such compassion a couple, I guess it's 4 years ago, when I stepped away from education briefly. I started tutoring and going home to home in mask and my digital thermometers and things like that, and tutoring students who were struggling. I was on blogs, I was on Facebook chat rooms and seeing that people were struggling. So I wanted to help. People were looking to me for help because they knew I was a teacher. And I am a teacher. And so I developed a compassion that I cannot get rid of for my parents out there, my fellow parents. I am a parent, and I have had lots of encounters where I've had negative interaction with parents in my career, but that short stint of stepping out of education and seeing how much parents struggle day to day with their children because they're just not educated in how to help. And this is a profession and it is something that is valued. It's just that we have not made it known in our society. So I wanted to talk to you guys about 6 things that is in the forefront of news, actually 7, in the forefront of news when it comes to education. First and foremost, I want to talk about funding. You may not know this, and maybe you do, that there is a effort and will probably be successful in the dismantling of education on a mass government scale. Our leader is saying that it is better equipped to be handled by the states, education by the states, and not by big government, and I have listened to what these people have to say. And all I have to say is, if there's not a organized big effort to handle big problems, then no one does anything. And then people suffer on a massive scale that you do not anticipate. And if you think that those who are suffering are just those that are too poor in our inner cities or in our rural areas, and too bad, so sad, they don't live in our sophisticated suburbs, then when these people grow up in about 10, 15 years, where do you think they're going to go and pillage? Nobody's going to stay in their neighborhood to steal from other poor people. But I'm just going to leave it right there. And we're not going to talk about that anymore. Now, I will talk about it. This is what I have to say. Now, if we were smart, what we would do is start charging for public schools. I know it's so unheard of. Oh my gosh. But yes, charging for public schools. And if you cannot pay, then you work it off. Kind of sweat equity type thing. And depending on how many children you have in the system is how much you work off. And it could be 2 hours a day, hour a day, whatever. There's always something to do in the schools, and we need the help, whether it's cutting grass, edging. Our schools should be the best looking places ever. Should be the best looking places ever. But a lot of them aren't, because we struggle with money and getting all the work done. I don't propose that everybody pay a huge amount of tuition, but if we all pay something, then we can have a pretty good education system. And that is paying to play, not, oh, I'm going to pay in my taxes and it's soft dollars. And I don't really see that. So I don't really know. And I don't really care. I'm talking about hard dollars. Just put your money out there. Everybody. Charter schools. Everybody. I feel like when you feel it in your wallet, then you have more of an interest to come and see what's going on in the schools. Okay. You have a more, you pay attention more to what the laws are and what the laws aren't instead of what you want them to be, right? You become more active in the decision making and wanting to be on boards and things like that. So we as teachers and educators, we have always felt so committed and an obligation to know the ins and outs and to know what's going on and where our dollars are being spent exactly, and how it's being used, and sadly how it's not being used. Like, struggling educators can't get free and reduced lunch, but that's going to be a moot point, because I don't even know if we're going to have free and reduced lunch anymore, since we are dismantling funding. Anyway, so there are other topics, and I want to talk about that and how these topics are showing up post-COVID, because post-COVID is the most relevant time that we need to be talking about. We do not need to talk about our heyday, about when kids used to know how to do this, and we used to know. And yes, as a little form of reference as far as historical accounting, yes. But we do not need to live there, because we need to live in the present moment. And so right now, there are so many issues that is happening post-COVID that is phenomena that we have not really dealt with on this larger scale that I really want to talk to you guys about that we're dealing with. Number one, I want to talk to you guys about AI. We've talked about AI before, but boy, AI. We really need to sit down as educators and come to a consensus about how AI can be used in the classroom by students and not used in the classroom by students. And I know that we can't literally do plagiarism, but AI is so smart that things can be authentic and true and all this and not. The only thing is that I see in middle school is that you cannot fool your teacher. Can't fool your teacher. We've been in school September, October, November, December, 5 months. 5 months, 6 months. And I have newcomers, children who are new to this country, new to the language. And I am smart enough to know that they are not going to know certain vocabulary words. So if they put this in their writings, I know they got it from AI. Or if children are not regularly using certain vocabulary, I know they're not going to be able to write it. If you don't speak this vocabulary, you are not writing it, because a lot of times people are speaking at a higher level than they can write. And if you're writing at this high level, then honey, you are really, you should teach me some vocabulary. But I just want to just tell you that we really need to start having more meetings. And I know we don't even have the money to get together to meet. I mean, we can't get coffee. We can't do anything. Lord, funding. Anyway, I'm just going to be very no funding. I just want us to be positive about it, though, and try to look on the bright side of how it can be bright. I spent many, and I do say many years talking and feeling that education is just going down, and the kids don't know as much as they used to, and all the kids are, oh my gosh, they're changing and society's changing. And it's not that educators are pushing an agenda. We're not pushing an agenda. We deal with what we get. We get what we get, and we don't have a fit. And that's just how public education has been and will continue to be. But what I have done is I've changed my mindset on, well, what am I going to do about it? What am I going to do, and how am I going to walk this journey? Am I going to walk this journey talking only about all the things that we don't have, that we can't do, that we our hands are tied about? Or are we going to move in a direction of the things that we can control? And the things that I decided that I was going to control is me. Minding my business, being the most positive Miss Powell I can be, being the most positive, friendly, outgoing Miss Powell I can be. And the only way I can do that is taking good care of myself, so I can have a smile at the door every day when my students come through my door. So that has just changed my mindset about, what can we do? What am I going to do? What's in my control? What is my big purpose? What is my big goal? And why, my big why, and why am I here? Am I here to complain all day, every day? Or am I here to make a difference. And if I'm here to make a difference, then by golly, I need to get busy doing that. So one of the things that I wanted to talk about besides AI, because AI is a space where it can help teachers to plan better. It can help drill down to learning standards and activities so that we're not bogged down with planning, but also it is bogging down our children. And I believe it's creating a little bit of a barrier for the kids to learn. But I'm going to talk to you guys about how we can overcome some of that. Let's see. The next thing, let me see, before I go to that, because y'all, I have notes, y'all. I got notes. Reading. Okay, it leads to my second point, reading literacy. Okay, so reading literacy, it is the last of the core subjects where kids are showing improvement post-COVID. Even math has recovered somewhat from COVID, but reading and literacy has not. So on every piece of paperwork that I fill out for individual education plans, I recommend that students read 20 minutes a day out loud with their parents. And 20 minutes a day is not a long time. We waste an hour before we know it looking at some video shorts, and you don't even know it happened, right? So 20 minutes a day is not a long time. In fact, look at it as a fast from your phone. 20 minutes a day of reading, fast from your phone. I'm going to tell you that it is invaluable to your child and you. Once you start reading with your child for 20 minutes a day, you not only increase their reading literacy and comprehension, you literally build bonds to where you get to know your child better. That is because you will naturally flow into conversations about whatever character you're reading about. Boy with the striped pajamas. There's, oh my gosh, there's so many different books that you can read with your child and your children. I read with my son in high school, The Hate You Give. I read that. We attempted to read Michelle Obama's book. We're not going to talk about that. My son and I, it's a real inside joke about that book. But anyhow, 20 minutes a day can make a difference in your child developing intrinsic motivation to become a doctor, to be a marketing mogul, to understanding that they may not have funding for school. So working in order to help pay for their own tuition. Those reading 20 minutes a day can lead to that kind of mindset. And I know you think it's so far apart from what, all these great things, but it can happen. I was literally a single co-parent. I hate to say single mom because a lot of times people think that the father wasn't involved, but their father was involved in their life. So I like to say single co-parent. But I was head of my own household. So it was hard to fit things in. It was hard, but I made it a priority. And I believe my children are very thankful that I did. So those things can help at home. But at the same time, I'm finding that children are fake reading in school. And I am making them read more out loud in class. And so that helps me diagnose what vocabulary they do have and don't have. So, looking at their copying and pasting when we have learning management systems with all the Chromebooks and iPads and all the technology that we feel are so good and so fast, and they are, but it also creates challenges that we have to overcome. And that's okay. We just have to figure out how to navigate those challenges. And some of the ways we navigate the challenges is programming our quizzes and tests on our learning management systems so that it makes it more difficult for children to get away with uh, what we are calling our new age cheating, which is copying and pasting what you see from internet. Whether we use our Google securely to lock down browsers for only one browser to be open at once, which I do often. So what that does is it prevents a child from opening up another browser to Google something while they're taking a quiz. Or if I'm giving them a quiz and it's a formative, something they have to take, they have the ability to take over again to make a higher score, then I make them wait for a while, because a lot of times they will rush through just to kind of get an idea about what kind of questions are on the test, and then hurry up and take it to make a better score. And so I built in time so that they have to wait 3 minutes before they can do a quiz or something like that. It's just ways that we have to get clever and use our PLC time. And having PLC time is professional learning development time, where we talk about strategies or trends that we see in the classroom. And say, for instance, girl, I think they cheated on that quiz. I think they did too. Like, we talk about those things, and then we talk about how we can meet those challenges. So we do that, but we don't have a lot of time to do it. We just don't. So we end up talking after school, talking before school, on the way to work, just picking one another's brains and coming up with solutions that way. Number 3. Number 3 is absenteeism. Absenteeism is a huge problem in education. I want to talk about that because, and it is a huge problem post-pandemic. And I understand completely why. I do. It makes sense. But we got to get back in the culture of going back to school, y'all. And post-COVID, man, we were sick, especially in Texas. We went back to school earlier than some other states. And so there were people in and out, COVID in and out, COVID in and out. Now we're dealing with the flu epidemic in Texas. We're number 3 in the country, the Dallas area in the country for flu outbreak. So guys, be safe. Get your vitamin C, get your vitamin D on. Drink water, take care of yourself, protect yourself. Okay. And just come to school anyway. Not when you're sick. If you have a fever, stay your butt at home. Because I have 4 or 5 kids in every class, and I have 125 kids, 5 classes, plus an advisory class, absent from every class. And sometimes more, like 8. 2 days ago, I had like 7 kids out of one class out of 27. I had 6 out of 24. It was a lot. That's a lot in all day that is happening. So it's a lot of students. And then one student will come back, another one will leave sick with fever. So guys, be safe. Now, before the flu epidemic was happening here in this area, people don't want to come to school. And so we have a truancy issue, and districts are working closely with judges to help deal with the truancy issue, and um, talks to parents, and sometimes in some cases prosecute parents for not taking their children to school. And I know, because I have compassion for everyone, I know how hard it is that when you have a vacation at home, and that's what COVID really was. We just kind of chilled for a good while trying to stay safe, and I understand. But it's hard getting back in a routine where we're just day in, day out, going somewhere and being in that place all day. And then there are other anxieties that we're dealing with sometimes. And I have to understand that there was an uptick in abuse while these students were home. And um, so um, it just builds anxiety no matter where they go. And so while their parents have to go back to work, sometimes students are choosing to stay home. And what we need is for them to be at school so that we can, close those gaps. You literally have to be at school getting instruction, because we know some of those gaps were created because nothing replaced a teacher that is holding a student accountable in their face. Nothing replaces that, friends. And so we got to get better with attendance. And school districts are becoming more savvy with truancy, and making students and parents more accountable for absenteeism. But just know, guys, that's a big issue in education here post-COVID. Next, mathematics. Mathematics is always a issue in America. Is trending behind some other countries in mathematics. They always have, per se. What we have done is, in mathematics, we have infused creativity in mathematics and learning how to use what we learn in a more creative way. And so that is something that has distinguished American education from other countries, and made it a very attractive place to come and learn. So that's all I'm going to say about mathematics. In public school, okay, I'm going to say something else. And public school has always been a leader in mathematics over private school. Hello. So when we talk about splitting our dollars among choice schools, like private schools, public schools always outshine private schools in math. Okay. Professional development. I want to talk about that, and that is going to be our last topic. Teachers need, oh no, it isn't. Money is. Because if you follow the money, you're gonna find some stuff out, people. I was just talking to my producer about money. But anyway, professional development. We, first and foremost, when it comes to professional development, I believe that when it comes to our knowledge about how to get information through to kids, I feel like there is a space for that always. There's new innovative ways to get information to children. There are new innovative ways to make learning fun. But I feel like that there are so many other responsibilities that is required of teachers, that administrators, parents, And other colleagues think that it is innate that we know how to do, that we have the capacity already to know it. Some teachers literally do not know how to organize their emails in order to prioritize who to answer first, or what to answer first. And that is not a place to criticize some educators. It is a place where we have to give grace that this was not always taught 20 years ago. Google and how all the things was not taught 30 years ago. And even our new educators who have been working with web devices all their educational careers, they need to understand that how to work these educational devices and apps and things like that into their daily journey and walk at work, along with all the other human stressors they have. Because you can know how to create a Google Doc, how to snip and clip, how to animate things, how to put them in a video. But when you have a constant barrage of people asking you for a Band-Aid, people asking you to go to the nurse, or tattling on someone else, and sometimes it's not tattling, it is really a genuine concern, you find it hard to get it all together so that you can be a responsible, comprehensive professional. I'm going to give you an example. I organize my day with being ever present to my students and their grades. Outside of PLC, I don't plan at school. I plan mostly at home. I plan in PLC with my group, like a sketch of what I'm going to do. But if we have to build things like quizzes on our learning management system, our tests on a learning management system, or an activity on the learning management system, or integrate it with another app, those are things that I do at home. I absolutely touch my grade book every single day. And that is not something that all educators commit to doing, because we always kind of put it on the back burner. Like, I need to attend to this need right now. I need to attend to this human need right now. But it takes expertise and years on the job to know that you can manage. You have to plan to have time to put in the grades while you're at school in the face of children. And it's not really a work-life balance, friend. It's more of a work-life, like a work priority. And understanding what you're really here for, because a lot of people get caught up with, oh my gosh, someone needs to get to the counselor. Yeah, I'm gonna write a counselor pass, but I'm not going to walk you to the door or to the counselor. You're going to find your way there, unless, or I'll have another person escort you, because I'm getting these grades in. Like, if it is not life or death, if you're not going to hurt yourself, I don't need to be involved with walking you there and and doing the rubbing the back and things like that, because that interferes with my core reasons why I'm there. Which is giving you feedback so that you know where you need to study and where your gaps are. So if I don't get those grades in a timely manner, you won't know as a student where you need to improve. If I don't give you that feedback, if I don't get things graded and see what the trend is in the class, and I cannot, effectively do my teaching job. So it's part of the job, but what I'm hearing from some administrators is criticisms, but not understanding why this is happening. Because I don't know any teacher who wants to be behind and up at 2:00 putting in grades right before they're due. I don't know anybody who want to do that. Who wants to? It's because they literally do not know how to infuse that in their day. And in order for you to run a mile, you got to take a step at a time. And so when it comes to grading, I put my hands in my grade book every single day. I don't care if it's one class. I'm inputting grades. I'm creating a grade category. I'm letting people know I'm putting notes in my grade book. So-and-so was absent on this day, that it was assigned. So-and-so was absent on this day when it was due. I'm putting my hands in the grade book, and that keeps parents from having so many questions and me being bogged down with emails from them. And so it's just a way of handling your teaching profession to where you're not bogged down with a lot of small duties or tasks that eats away at your time. You can literally come in teaching 125 kids. If you miscommunicate, if you miscommunicate, you can literally get 50, 60 emails. Easy. So you want to mitigate some of those missteps. And sometimes it doesn't matter if a educator has been in teaching 7 years. I mean, it took me almost 20 years to be like, okay, I got to do it different. I got to figure this thing out. Or I know after the 3rd year, I was like, I ain't staying up till 2. I'm not staying up till 3. Not one more time, and then have to be up here at 7. Not doing it. Not doing it, friend. It is a way to shorten your life. And so we have to get better at professional development and think beyond that, and maybe understand where and diagnose where teachers could be great teachers, but they need the development in an area outside of pedagogy, okay, which is the science and the science of teaching, right? So they may not need pedagogical work. They may need the organization of how they're going to structure their day in order to make it a successful day for the long run. Okay. So I'm going to end today's show with this. I forgot to ask y'all at the beginning of my show to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I need y'all to do that. I need you to subscribe and get notified and watch. I have lots of shows on that YouTube channel, girl. I was going through those YouTube channels the other day, and I was like, girl, I got a little library. I don't have a lot of subscribers, and I think you can help me with but I do have a lot of people watching, and I really do appreciate you guys. Or if you could do me a favor, if you are subscribed to my YouTube channel, please, if you have a question about education, just ask me anything about education, or if you have a question about me. I don't know. I don't think I'm all that interesting, but you might think I am, girl, or guy. You might think so. I mean, you might think I'm very, very interesting and I got an exciting life. But let me know. Shoot me a question on YouTube, Essential Pedagogy, and I have my face on there so you can see me. So I'm just going to ask you guys to please subscribe for me. And until next time, please, please, y'all be safe with that flu. Okay. Take that vitamin C, eat your nectarines or oranges, drink your water, drink your water, drink your water. Okay. And until next time, I'm Steph, the educator. See you in 2 weeks. Yeah.